Verse 4. Ivaye vishayan galenu kanan Tadiyan yullil yudichidum brahmatal Stiramaniva byennu thvanibadunnu Stiramayulladu bodamunnu matram. On account of the inability to see them simply as objects, one supposes them to be changeless through delusion. So, here you continue your self-inquiry. Am I able to see that in me, the field of consciousness, the object called the body, the object called the sense organs, the object called the mind, the object called the will, and the intellect appear and disappear? And why is it that I used to suppose that this body-mind-intellect complex is changeless earlier? Before Ajatavada, I used to think this body-mind complex is changeless. That is simply because I was not able to look at this body as an object, a separate object from I, the subject. I was unable to look at the mind, this thought that is there in the mind. I was unable to look at this thought as an object separate from I, the subject. I was unable to look at this smart, intelligent thought, which is the intellect, simply as an object. What did I do? I am this intelligent object. Did you see that? And I used to think, I am intelligent, I am smart. Like that only. I used to think, I am this body. Oh, I am fat, I am thin, I am tall, I am short, I am dark, I am fair. I had assumed these attributes of the object to be me. Next homework question. Have I overcome all this? Or do I again slip into the self-foolery, thinking the object as me? That's your next question. On account of the inability, I didn't have the ability earlier. On account of that inability to see these as objects, I used to suppose that they are changeless. This body is changeless. Oh, I'm intelligent. I'm always going to be smart and intelligent. Do you see that? I did a great thing. Oh, I'm always going to be great like this. It's changeless. Oh, I am beautiful. It's changeless. Yeah, or I am ugly. It is changeless. So I held on to these attributes and I suppose them to be changeless, and therefore I am also changeless like that. Yeah. This was delusion. Atmananda calls this delusion. So indirectly, he's warning us again and again, do not fall into the trap of the idiosyncrasies and vagaries of the mind. And the mind also is nothing but an object. Do not assume it to be your true self. Mind is not changeless. So see very clearly, it changes. Sometimes there was a very intelligent thought, and sometimes there was an absolutely foolish thought. Yeah. Sometimes there was an like a very new idea, as if I'm Einstein, and sometimes I was like the fool of the crowd. Yes. Why? Because I assumed that the thought is I. This silly thought is I, or this Einstein-like smart thought is I. I am that. No. They keep changing. They keep changing. One supposes them to be changeless because of delusion, because of the inability to see them as changing objects. Yeah? They are not changeless. Your true self is the only thing that is changeless. So your true self cannot be that which is known, says Atmananda. Because now you want to know the true self again. Amidst that drama, you want to come back. And that's where again the second slip up happens. First slip up happened that I gave into the idiosyncrasy of the mind and started assuming myself to be that changing object. And second slip up happens, now I want to know my true self. I want to see my true self. So then Atmananda reminds you again in this next verse that your true self cannot be that which is known. Because true self is the knower. Yeah? Let's look at verse 5. Ariyunnavana nanaradam തന്നറിയ പെട്ടതില്ലൊന്നു മാകയില്ല അറിയുന്നവന്നേ നാവക്കുപോലും ശീരിയാവില്ലറി വന്നുദേഹിയല്ല. Being always the knower, one can never come under the category of the known. Even the word knower is wrong. Because the changeless knower is knowledge itself. It is consciousness itself. It is not an embodied being. What is embodied being? Consciousness covered by the body. It is not an embodied being. Yeah, when you thought of yourself as an individual consciousness, you thought you were this little light of consciousness, small little ball. You were covered by the body. No, it is not an embodied being. Yeah? It means that it is this vast, infinite field of consciousness or knowledge itself. Yeah? It is changeless. It is not a knower, like an individual knower of the known. No. The known can be pointed out as an object. The knower is not an object that can be pointed out. So don't try to find the knower. Don't try to find the perceiver. That time in the moment of drama and when you are lost in the vagaries or idiosyncrasies of the mind, you cannot try to find the knower. You continue your self-inquiry that I have always been the knower of everything. I have never come under the category of the known. The body comes under the category of the known. I know when the body is healthy. I know when the body is sick. I know it because I can perceive it, just like I can perceive any other object. I can perceive the phone. Like that, I can perceive this body. It's an object. This is the known. That which knows it is the knower, but yet I cannot point towards it. Yeah? When you start really looking carefully, there is just an infinite field of awareness. You cannot point out to that field of awareness and say, this is who I am or this is where I am. There is no location. Do you see that? You cannot find the location of this field of awareness because this field of awareness is everywhere. When you are in that drama, you might start with, okay, let me use field of vision as a stepping stone. But it's not just the field of vision. Yeah? I cannot see the ice maker in the refrigerator behind me, but I heard it. So it's also my field of hearing. It's also my field of sensation because I really cannot see sensation, but I can feel sensation. Oh, it's my field of perception, sensations, thought, feeling, all of it. Oh, but it is beyond because all these are not there in the deep sleep state. Aha! So it is also beyond. Now, when you taste that in the deep sleep state also, I recognize that I was there. That is why I know there was nothing. Oh, that means there are these gaps in the waking state which are akin to deep sleep. I, the consciousness, am purely there. I, that field, is there, even beyond the field of sight, field of sound, field of touch, field of taste, and field of smell, field of thought, field of feeling. I am that. Now, recognizing this experientially, not intellectually, not deducting it intellectually, but experientially seeing this, then I will never claim that I know myself, because that would imply that I am the subject as well as the object. That is still a Drishti Srishtivad stepping stone wisdom point, where I am the subject as well as the object. When you rise to a higher Ajatavada level, this is not true. And this is not true that I am the subject as well as the object. This is not true that I am the knower and the known. These are simply terminologies used at Srishti Drishtivada and Drishti Srishtivada. Here I know, oh, it's just knowledge. It's an ocean of knowledge. Just an ocean of knowledge. Yeah. That is the meaning of the term, the Sanskrit term, Keval Gyan. Keval Gyan in Hindi, Keval Jnana in Sanskrit. Means what? Only knowledge. Consciousness is only knowledge. There is no subject and object there. I use subject and object only when I get lost in an object. So now to come back, I have to come back that way only, using that object as a stepping stone. So I use perceiver, perceived, and then I see perceiver and perceived is the one and the same. Oh, and then the perceiver is always constant. Let me latch onto that which is constant. And then when I take this step in and I recognize, oh, just because this was changing, I kept thinking that I, the consciousness, changed. I was attributing myself to that. Then I come very clearly established here, but there is no difference between that and this. Aha, this is one and the same. There is no real knower and known that I can point out here. Everything is simply an ocean of knowledge. Keval Jnana. Yeah? That's how you bring yourself back. Every time you get lost in the game, you bring yourself back. Every time you get lost in the game, bring yourself back to Keval Gyan. There is no separate subject and object, no separate observer and observed. There is no separate perceiver and perceived, no separate knower and known. There is only knowledge. Means that subject and object are not two. Advaitam. There's only knowledge means that the observer and the observed are not two. Advaitam. There's only knowledge means the perceiver and the perceived are not two. Advaitam. There is only knowledge means that the knower and the known are not two. Advaitam. Then you come to the final step where you recognize, oh, knowledge or knowingness or gyan is the other name for me, the field of consciousness. It's not something separate. Yeah, when you recognize this, when you come to this point, yeah, you recognize the true meaning of the words absolute or supreme. Absolute or supreme, they're words used for consciousness in many scriptures, and the reason is that consciousness is complete. Means the subject, object, perceiver, perceived, knower, known, all this, the totality of it all is the consciousness. That is why it's called the absolute. That is why it is called supreme. It is knowledge itself. Has this been seen experientially by you? If yes, then verse 6 will be very, very clear to you. Maravillarivin തോന്നില്ലത്രേ നിന്നവും വൃത്തികൾ ശോകമോഹമെല്ലാം അതിലാനു ജനങ്ങളിന്നു ജീവ വ്യവഹാരങ്ങൾ വഹിപ്പട്ടും ജഗത്തിൽ. Nothing hides consciousness. It is present in all mental activities such as thought, grief, pleasure, pain, etc. It is in it, that is, in consciousness, that all men are carrying on their life's activities. Yeah, so this is very clear for you experientially now, that knowingness or consciousness is the field in which every activity is happening. Every activity is happening. Nothing can hide consciousness. Just like on a cinema screen, there are several characters, several things, big world out there, but none of them can really hide the white screen background. Right? Similarly, nothing hides consciousness. Consciousness is not present in people, situations, and things. In fact, people, situations, and things are present in consciousness. Just like the cinema's white background screen is not present in the hero a little bit, in the heroine a little bit, in their house a little bit. No, no, no. It is actually the hero, heroine, the film, the house, the whole film world that is present on the white background. It is not even right to say that they are present there. A better word would be that they seem to appear there. Nothing hides consciousness. It is present in all mental activities, such as thought, grief, pleasure, pain. Nothing can hide it. Nothing. Because all activities, all this drama that leads to thought, that leads to grief, that leads to pleasure, that leads to pain, all these activities are happening where? In consciousness. So one more homework for you. Am I able to see that all activities at home, in office, in the social circle, in my Advaitin circle, they are all appearing in consciousness? If this is not happening yet, moment to moment, if it is not happening yet, moment to moment, then I have missed some important point. There is a loose brick in my foundation. So Atmananda reminds you why you started this journey in the last 2 verses. Let's look at verse 7. Kardu niddu bandhananu tanne nadivelam vallayunnu muktanavan Shravanadikal ചീടിതുന്നിതെല്ലമാതിൽ നിന്ന നദിനില്ല മട്ടിമേതും. A man believes he is bound, becomes miserable, seeks liberation, and for that purpose approaches a guru and listens to his teachings. But all this time, he was unknowingly standing in pure consciousness alone, which is itself the truth he was seeking. So didn't you begin your journey in a similar fashion? You believed you were bound. Because of the belief of that bondage, you became miserable, and then you approached an external guru. In reality, you manifested an external guru, exactly the way you wanted him to be. Now, when you reach Ajatavada level, you clearly see all the time that I was searching for water like that silly fish. And that song is there, no? Kabir's Pani mein meen hai pyasi. The fish is thirsty while roaming in the ocean. She's looking for water. Mujhe sun sun aave hasi. I keep smiling at this silliness. Now, don't you smile at your own silliness of the past? I am what I was seeking. I am what I seek. I always was. I just did not know that. And so a man believes he is bound, he becomes miserable, he seeks liberation. For that purpose, he approaches a guru and listens to his teachings. But all the time, he was unknowingly standing in pure consciousness alone, which is itself the truth that he was seeking. Yeah. Don't you look back and smile at your silliness? Verse 8 is Adilaneha Neelapattenu Kandal Adumatram Matti Siddhamai Sarvam Vishayam Ninna Vokkayannu Thutta Nilakatunnavanthanneyai Bhavikum. When once he becomes fully aware of the stand, he is freed, and thenceforward all thoughts, feelings, and objects of perception will be pointing to himself. Yeah. And now that you have become fully aware of your truth, aren't you free? Don't you feel that, oh, I was so silly that I thought I was bound? Even bondage was simply a thought, and it gave rise to a feeling. Feeling is also a thought. Product of thought is thought. Yeah. Product of thought is thought. Feeling is thought. Object of perception is a product of thought. Product of thought is thought. Perception is a thought. Oh, all of this is what? Is nothing but thought. And what is thought? Thought is nothing else but that wave that dissolves into me and arises from me. I am that which I call thought. Thought is also me, the consciousness. Everything is me, everything points towards me. Oh, how silly I was, like a fish in the water, looking for water, thirsting for water. I am water. Yeah, so you ask yourself the last questions from this chapter. Am I fully aware of my stand? Am I free yet? And do all thoughts, feelings, and objects of perception point towards myself now? Am I able to clearly see the non duality? There is no duality. This duality was only illusory. It was a thought. Thought is nothing but me. Am I clearly able to see the non duality, moment to moment? Just like the film objects, like the hero, heroine, the film world, are all inside light. They're not separate from light. Am I able to see the non duality of the consciousness and the saint and the sinner? Everything is consciousness. Am I able to see that there is only myself? The saint is me, the sinner is me, the guru is me, the disciple is me. All are simply projections, simply thoughts. Knowledge has been projected in the form of a knower and known, but in reality, there is no two. Advaitam. Advaitam. When you reach here, then you have recognized Keval Jnana. Keval Jnana. Clear? completes the chapter. Yes, it's like a thought. It's like a thought. Like the tiger in Pamir's dream is nothing but a thought, right? Similarly, have I able to start seeing everything as the thought? Start with small furniture in the room first. Nothing, and this is the world, no, for me. Yeah, the TV, the cupboard. Can I see this simply as a thought? Don't I see like this furniture in the dream in the night? Isn't that a thought? Now, do I have any proof that this thought is different from that thought? The only difference is this is a recurring thought, repeated thought. That is a occasional thought. Not that the tiger appears just once in a lifetime and never appears. No, no. It has appeared several times, but after long intervals. Yeah, that is like a very slow, lazy thought that comes once in a while, and this is a very active thought that comes every day. Other than that, am I able to distinguish between this table and that table, this furniture and that furniture? Then slowly extend it to the person in your life, in your home, the family member. Same person appears in my dream also many times. Yeah. But that, again, lazy thought, not every day, not recurring, not repeated. Here it is repeated, recurring, ceaseless, non-stop. Except when the person goes on a vacation without me and I get a break. Yes? But both are thoughts. Both are thoughts. Where is the proof that it is anything other than a thought? Yeah. So again and again, inquiring and recognizing, oh, everything is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. So if you read the Marathi book of Maharaj, he says, this is all my kalpana, this is all my imagination. I've got nothing to do with it. I'm not going to get entangled in my kalpana, in my imagination. Yeah, even though I know it is my imagination, I am not attached to this person. I'm not attached to this thing. I do not care about that. Even though it is my kalpana that this thought is coming up, this brilliant thought. And Maharaj, the way he spoke was amazing, was brilliant. Even though this thought that is coming up is my own imagination, I've got nothing to do with it. So everything is me, a projection of me. So you cannot say it is an anomaly of me or it is not. It's just me. It's my way of expressing myself. Me, the consciousness, expresses as thoughts and then has the quality of labeling them as different objects. And after labeling them as different objects, I get attached to them with different intensities. I like them, I dislike them, I play a game of my own. If I can distance myself from this kalpana, from this imagination, and see, oh, it is all just me, the field of awareness. Me, the field of awareness, this room has appeared right now, and there is a computer, and there are Advaita participants there, and I am interacting. But this is me. This is not me. Yeah? The more I recognize this is me, more clarity dawns. So I see myself as an ocean of knowledge. So it's like zero, one, zero, one, code for all potentiality. But there is no thing in it. It's just like inside a sea. If we break open, there is nothing, but there is the potentiality, just like that, and the potentiality. Sometimes one part lights up, sometimes another zero one lights up, sometimes nothing lights up. So it's and even the and there is another code for another zero one that encodes a thought saying that is past, this is future, join things. So that's why all the past, present, future, any perception, everything is already present in this code. And I am that now. Yes, perfect. Perfect. It's just like you're reading a book, you're reading Maharaj's book. We are on chapter 18, and I am that. There's so many chapters. Yes, the end of the story is already present, but I am going through it slowly. So when I'm going through it slowly, I am calling this going through it time. It's not time really. All of it is present right now, right here. So there is actually just a right now, right here. These different codes, you are going through those codes and you are assuming them to be time. Just a game. Just a game that I am playing with myself. And the reason why does it light up? It's just you mentioned one sentence: the wave is inherent in the ocean. So just like that, for no reason, it just like that lights up. Yes, yes, exactly. It's just like the waves in the ocean. Just like any game, in a game, some particular thing is supposed to happen at that moment. That's it. There is no perfect object that you can point out. This is the cause of this. No, there's absolute randomness there. There is no cause and effect. I cannot point out that this is what led to this is because of that. Because all of it is an illusion. Yeah. So again and again, Adi Shankaracharya says, whenever such questions arise, you refer to your dream. Can I point out the cause of that tiger in the dream? All your arguments fall flat on their face. So the dream, Swapna Nidra Jnana, will help you the most here. It happened that, when sometimes when I see someone, um, there's a feeling of love. Um, I don't know how to describe it. Um, it's just that they just feel as if they're me. So is it like, I don't know, is it just my story, or the feeling itself? Is it like, is I don't know what to ask here. Yeah. Is it like whatever I see it feels like as if beautiful. There's some quality in that person. It's so beautiful, and I just feel so much love towards it. So is it a story, or is there something there? Again, it is just a thought. It is my thought. But why is that love coming? Where is that the source of that love? Is it in that person's quality, that beautiful quality? No, it's here. I am in touch with my own pure nature, my own pure quality. And then everything seems beautiful. Everything, anybody who comes, not just that one person, because at that moment is that one person in my field of vision. But if anybody else had come into my field of vision at that moment, I would have felt the same, not because of those people, but because of being connected here in nodes. Yes. Yeah, this is the meaning of Ananda. Ananda is not related to the object. Ananda is not related to the external quality. Ananda is there here because I am in touch with my truth. Then everything is like, wow, it's amazing, it's beautiful. It doesn't have to be the exhilarated excitement kind of beautiful. It can just be a quiet, peaceful, free of conflict, lack of drama kind of beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Then that's a key, a note that you can make. See, I know how to get there. I know how to get there. I have to keep this note as a reminder for those days when I slip and fall. And I think, oh, I am very bad. This is bad. That is bad. Blah, blah, blah. And I start my story. That's when I open to this page and remember this note. See, I found everything beautiful. Why? It's not that person. The person might be the same the other next day when the drama happens. But it is here. I was antarmukhi, was connected to that field of awareness that I am. Superb. Very good. When the I dissolves in consciousness, the world is gone. It doesn't mean that the perception is gone and I become blind or I cannot hear, I cannot smell, I cannot taste. I just don't see it as a separate world from I, because the perceiver and the perceived have merged. It's not that the perceiver and perceived have disappeared. I recognize it all as H2O. I don't see it as the ocean and the wave anymore. I see it as H2O. The ocean is still there, the wave is still there, but the way I see it has changed. Very clear? So it's not that suddenly all this lights, camera, computer, TV, furniture is going to disappear. No, no. It's exactly the way it happens in those gaps where there is no I. Many times the I just drops. You have no consciousness of the body called Pamir. Yeah? You just don't have any consciousness of the I at all. There is nobody in the house. You're just by yourself. Suddenly, there is no consciousness of the body called Pamir, or you're sitting on the couch. You're not even lost in thought. You're just quiet, at peace, absolute peace. That time, not only the body is gone, disappeared, even the world has disappeared. There's just a peace. And then you come back into the body and that feeling of I am sitting on the couch and this room is there. Yeah? So again, it happens. Again, you disappear. And it's a sadhana that Maharaj says. Yeah, it's called Nisargadatta sadhana. I plan to do it as a weekend session. There's a small book by Maharaj, Nisargadatta sadhana. We just recognize there is no I, there is nothing. That sense of I is where you start, and then you notice that sense of I-ness drops. There's no I-ness. There is just an isness. Yeah? And in that isness, there's nothing else. The furniture also disappears. Not that it disappears from my sight, not that I cannot see it, but it disappears as that which is seen as an object. It disappears. The seer and the seen both disappear, they merge. Yeah, there's simply a field of consciousness, simply a field of awareness, of beingness, of isness. The isness without the I, the isness without it. Yeah? There is no I, there is no you, or there is no I, there is no it. That is my true Swarupa. That is Nisargadatta sadhana. We'll do a weekend soon. I remember a quote. Sorry, I don't remember who the sage was in this quote, but a disciple, a beginning disciple asked the master, "How does it feel like to be a sage?" So, to help him understand, the master said, suppose you are listening to a person narrating a story, but your mind is elsewhere. That's how the world feels like to a sage. Aha, beautiful. Superb. Yeah. those boring lectures in college or school, and you just did not like that subject. Yeah, the teacher's going on teaching. Not that the teacher has disappeared or the classroom full of classmates has disappeared. Everything is there, but you're not there. Yeah, just like that. A boring lecture. So it goes on. Like Maharaj says, no, what have I got to do with this Kalpana? The Kalpana goes on. It's a boring lecture, the same boring story. And it really is, no? Every day you do the same thing, the same cleaning, the same cooking, the same grocery shopping, same kids, same house, same. You add one little variety and you feel so great. See, I am great. I added one variety. I moved into a new house, new job, new place. Hurry, but it's the same thing. You're fooling yourself. Wake up. The same boring lecture, same boring teacher. Beautiful example. Nice way to remember it.